So give us your best Derek Jackson impersonation. Come on.
He'd be like, ladies, if your man will do everything that you tell him to do, buy you everything that you need, and basically treat you like Jesus, he don't really love you. That's not your real man. Like this dude's
Buy my
rules,
book.
man.
Yeah.
Buy my book.
Huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Buy my book.
He posted
Even though I'm
his
cheating on my
wife
wife?
like all like pretty and stuff, like like love Easter thing, and I was like, you're lying. Like
Bruh,
you
this
got
dude is
caught. Like
trash.
why are you trying so hard? Like you're done.
You're done, bro.
And like, not only did you get caught, dog, you apologize, but your wife dressed like Aunt Jemima. Like, that's not cool, bro.
And she
All right,
was like, did you see the video when she was like, I'm a warrior? I was like, girl, you sound like you're in a cult right now. Like, seriously, like, no jokes. I was terrified to watch it. I was like, I'm not gonna even finish it because I'm afraid they're gonna drag me into it by the end of the video. I was like, ugh.
Kudos to her though, because a lot of women would have let him suffer in silence. I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest. If my girl cheats on me publicly, she got to handle that shit on her own, bro. Because I wasn't with you cheating. You fix the shit by yourself. But kudos to her for sticking by her husband, though.
No, it's nice, but like, he was holding her hand and the way she was looking, and it just I saw this, like, I think the most common is that I'd rather swallow melting glass than sit by it like that, because he was doing all the talking and she was like barely quiet. I was like, like, that's not cool. Especially if you give a fucking dating advice all the time. that's
Textbook narcissism.
Yeah.
Textbook narcissism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Gossip Wine Podcast.
Hey everyone, this is the Gossip Wine Podcast, and today it's a very good day because we have a really nice topic and a really nice guest. Decory, I would lead you the introduction.
All right, so today's guest is the one and only little brother cousin. My cousin, his name is Trey. He can follow him on Instagram. I'll let him tell you that whenever we're done. But I'm glad to have him on the show today. How you doing, brother?
Oh man, I can't complain, dog. I'm happy to be here.
Oh yeah. It's been a long time. Me and him have a lot of these deep talks out here, so it was perfect. I was like, this is the perfect one that I can do with my cousin because I know we'll get a lot out of this.
Yeah, we're actually having really good topics. So, what is the topic today, Decory?
Oh, so today
you were looking for it very much.
Yeah. So today the topic is about men expressing their emotions. It's in society, like a lot of times, men are told to, oh, you got to be strong, you got to be all this, and it's like we have emotions too. I think just like growing up in the era that, especially me and him grew up in the neighborhoods that we grew up in, it was taught, you don't have to, your emotions, what's that, So that's what we're talking about today.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it then. If you're new to our channel, like, hit subscribe button, notifications, follow us on RSS, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and maybe soon TikTok. I don't know. Shit is going crazy with this around. So anyways, I do have a question, like, first though, like, tell us about, like, how are you growing up? As Decory mentioned, like, it was really hard, like, in the community itself. And we were like pre-internet kids. And I think it was like even more like hard for you guys to do it, like for us in general, but like especially for you and your community. Could you share more like experience from the past, like childhood and everything, where the first time you heard like be a man kind of thing?
The first time I heard be a man, that goes back to honestly as far back as I remember. Where we grew up predominantly between Inglewood and Compton, kind of back and forth between those two areas. So for us, emotions meant that there was a weakness. And weakness is a point that somebody, for us, meant that they could exploit. So in this kind of, me and him are always liken it to being lions. Once you get amongst other lions, you can't show that you're prey. You have to essentially stand out amongst, you have to always try to be alpha, or else dudes do see that as, okay, I can take advantage of him. Like I could rob this dude, like whatever he got, I got. So much like you hear like the prison mentality, that's the mentality on the streets that we grew up in. I remember me and him getting like chased home by drug dealers. And for as scared as we were, being in what were we in, like 6th grade,
Nah, it was less
we
than
can't
that.
show we can't even show grown men that we're afraid of them, because to them that's a point of weakness. And so you're taught not only by society and by the phrase "be a man." For us, it was our environment. It was a necessity to suppress emotions, which bleeds into other walks of our lives.
Yep,
Like, sixth
facts.
grade is like what, like 13, 12?
Nah, we were what,
Uh,
probably like 10, 11, bro.
yeah, we weren't even six. We was in the 5th grade. We were still in elementary school.
Fuck, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's crazy.
horrible though, because I get what you say, like about like drug dealers and everything, because I grew up in like not as same neighborhood, but like as close it could be, like probably in Ukraine. But yeah, like it's scary. Like you don't want to be robbed or whatever, so you have to stand up for yourself. But I cannot like even imagine how it is like tough, and like you always like constantly like in like ready mode, probably.
Yeah.
Damn.
You
That's
always got to look over your shoulder.
like, how did like did you guys like feel like you want to express the emotions but like you were afraid to?
Um,
Uh,
I'll let you go, cousin.
I was gonna say, for me, I never had necessarily the platform to express emotion. So a lot of our emotional expression came between the two of us, which I think is how we got so close. Our family would say just so we spent time together, we're so close in age, and our moms were really close. But looking back on it, I think what really kept us together was expressing ourselves to each other. I mean, that's like, for me, that was my like little outlet. So I felt like I at least had some sort of way to express
Yeah,
myself, but out in
yeah,
public,
and
Right.
he not lying because like he know I would hit him up all the time. Like, yo, this I'm going through this, I'm going through that, I'm going through this. Like, and that's the only person I can really talk to without fear of like, oh, this is what I feel, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think like at this point, like you at least someone had like you had someone to go and talk to. You had your families to come. You know, you had the safe place where a lot of men don't have that space. You know, for instance, like I
right?
know a lot of like couples back in the day where like a man in a relationship couldn't do shit, like he couldn't come home and feel home. He came home and he felt like even more pressed by his like
Mhm,
woman or family or whatever it is.
mhm.
And for me, like when a man comes home, like he needs to feel safe, like because it's home for everyone. And I feel it's like very important for like have that person at least, because if you don't even have that person, I think it's like it's so fucked up. Because especially like when women put those kind of things as well, and women are very good at putting things like be a man, but then they constantly want a person to be romantic, do like this like great gestures, but like how, like there's no sense, like you cannot allow your man to demand for him to be a man, and then demand for him to be like thoughtful and everything, because it's also emotions, but emotions come in different shapes and colors, so you cannot like just be romantic and that's it, but like keep your emotions, fears, whatever it is, by your like to yourself. That's impossible.
Yeah, it is. It is. Um,
Uh,
did you have, oh, you got something to add? Go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say to her point about how the women's dynamic from a relationship plays into a man's emotions. She is right. I mean, they say that they want emotional men, but I've noticed women treat what they want from us emotionally almost like a Postmates order. Hey, I want you to be romantic. Like, I want you to tell me you love me. Keep the crying stuff at home. Don't tell me if you had a bad day. If your mom's pissing you off, I don't want to know about that either. But I do want these three things from you. Outside of that, you can have it.
Okay, yeah, say that because it's rolling into one of my questions. I don't want you to leak out the good stuff, you know.
Got you.
All right, so I do got a question for
You
you though.
cannot have like both, person
Yeah,
comes in with good and bad, so.
yeah.
Right.
All right, let me drop this question for you, bro. For both of you guys, actually. So, why does society look down on men who express their emotions?
Uh,
We'll start with the guest. Go ahead, cuz start with you.
uh, I think that's because in society, men are loved simply for what they can provide. Like, that's the foundation of a man's value. What can he provide, right?
Mhm.
So anything outside of that is taboo. And just if you look throughout history, men have always been warriors and we've always been protectors. Well, it wasn't until recently that PTSD was even a thing. So even men who had emotional trauma from going off to war or from, just living in the environment that they lived in, they were thought to be less than. I mean, look at the Spartans, like they killed men who showed emotion because they wanted hardened warriors, right? So that mentality still follows us to this day, where if for some reason you show anything outside of wanting to be hard, provide, and be tough, then people are like, well, we've only known men to be this, so something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Yeah, like it's like, as you said before, like it's a weakness, like shown as weakness, even though I think it's like the most, biggest flex emotionally, to be honest, like I can express because I feel that way and it's okay. It doesn't, like, I think it's better for men, to express emotions, vulnerably, like, hey, I'm feeling this, like I need a fucking hug and it's okay, instead of going like outside, kick someone's ass, get in a fight or come and abuse, women or children, So like obviously there's supposed to be a normal like playground for everyone to express and share their emotions instead of just like keeping them inside. And then when it hits the limit, it gets ugly. And no one likes ugly. But then, it's like it's impossible to get track with the society because domestic violence obviously is horrible, but then we don't have the platform for men to openly and safely express emotions to avoid that fucking domestic violence or any violence precisely.
Yeah. So it's like if you can't express what you feel, like just growing up where we are, like I said, I don't express my feelings that much. It's bad. I try, I express it with my cousin, but the thing is, it does cause this like mental health issues. So a lot of men are around here with these, like you said, PTSD, other things where they can't talk to nobody because it's a sign of weakness. And once you say that, they're like, oh, what? Get over it. You're a man up.
That's the most terrible phrase ever.
Yeah. And even when men do find platforms, I mean, like for us, video games was also a platform for us to kind of express emotionally. We would like sit down and play Grand Theft Auto, but I noticed we would always find ourselves in these deep talks while we're playing. And that was kind of outlet for us, even still to this day. And like you was talking about how men don't have a platform or an opportunity or some sort of lane to express themselves. I mean, even that gets taken from them because I mean, like we're both 30. We both still play video games. To me, that's still an outlet. If I have a bad day at work, I go home, I queue up 2K or Call of Duty or something, give myself a little bit, and I wind down. But even now, it's now you play video games too much. You too old for this. You too old for that. You can't do this. So it's like we can't talk.
Facts.
We
Like
can't
it seems like you never
even
even
express
catch a
them.
break or something.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like you play video games, it's not good enough. You cry, no. You go like beat someone else, not good. So like, how do you express? Like I'm like I came to the senses when I have a bad day or like not a bad day, but like exhausting day. I cry. I would share like fucking 5 tears, and I'm good.